What's going on, my Sagittarian collective? Welcome to your creative energy forecast. This is timeless and it's general. As promised, I hadn't done one of these like at length for each sign in a while. Let me just fix this here a little bit. I hadn't done one of these for a while, so I wanted to put something out there for everybody. So we're doing this. Let's hop right on in here. So as I was meditating on the energy for you, this was it came out on while I was kayaking, and it came out for the other signs in different ways. But yours, refraction, was the big one. Refraction of energy, where it I'll show you the wonderful, very scientific drawing that I made for Aries, where sorry, I have a little bit of a paper cut there. So it's like the energy refracted kind of speeds, it's going at a different speed. So let's say that this side of it is air, this side of it is water. So it's like it hits the water, so between air and water. And then if this is light, it slows down as it goes into the water because it's entering a different, like it's just a different, I want to say consistency, but that's not the right term, but nonetheless. The physics of it is that it slows down and changes direction as well, right? So that's the other thing. So I while I was meditating on the energy, I was watching the rays of light underwater and the movement of energy in and through the elements, and getting this sort of elemental inspiration for the way that the energy of joy speeds up and slows down as it enters what I have come to understand. And I'll be doing more readings on this as well, but our auric biomes. Um, People might just say they're auric fields. I see the auric biome as encompassing something bigger than that, and it kind of has details and pieces in it that connect to energetic components, but then there's a way that it's specifically linked to interacting with others. So it's like the interaction of auric and energetic ecosystems. So that kind of came to me while I was meditating, so we'll see more of that on here at some point. But it's sort of this, like, so your Sag was about the way, like, the energy of joy speeding up and slowing down as it interacts with our energies, and the way that can, how do I word this, Spirit? It's not that it changes what the experience is of it, but it can change the way we perceive it, because it's almost like if there's like a thick ecosystem that it's entering, it's not going to feel as viscous as it runs through our energies. It's not going to feel the same. And I'm hearing volume displacement. Welcome to the science class. No, I'm kidding. But the way that it's coming is like there's possibly a way that your energy spills out because it's either too full, or there's something about the speed of it. Like if you throw a pebble at a cup and it hits the water, the speed of it is going to cause the water to go out of the cup. So the joy, like the speed of joy, Leo has, for their meditation, it was the speed of thought. So maybe, again, I told Aries this, but I feel like the fire ones are all kind of connected. So check that out. But it's sort of like seeing the pebble in the cup now. I'm thinking about the speed of thought. So you could have Leo placements, or Leo houses could be prominent. And by Leo houses, I mean the fifth. It could just be something about Leo season. But it has a lot to do with the way that it's almost like emotions changing the energy as they hit our auric biomes. And that's what I'm calling them from henceforth. Like it is what it is. Spirit gave me the term. Yeah, pressure, transformation. It's like it's something is shifting. And Aries had the message of like this kind of activation. And I feel like that's kind of what this is. Like this may be I'm hearing prelude. This could be the prelude to it. But now I'm hearing etude. Oh, that's fun. I'm hearing the butterfly etude by Chopin, and it is beautiful. And but Aries had butterfly messages in it. So there could be something about this, like, transformative energy for sure. That could be something that sounds lovely. I like to listen to Chopin at 432 hertz. You can find it online on YouTube. There's plenty of songs and of Chopin's compositions, and that tends to be my favorite composer out of all of them. So, yeah. Vivaldi's good, and this, I feel like this makes me sound so bloody pretentious. Like, I really, anyways, comfort and hearth, discipline and time. I'm hearing Saturn, but I tend to associate discipline and Saturn. I feel like there's this bit of pressure, and I feel like you may, like, it might make you want to reach for like you feel pressure. And I know that whenever I feel pressured or in like I like there's a lot of pressure on me, this could be important to check out relative to Scorpio as well, because Scorpio had the message of pressure and the transformation of diamonds on the water, as opposed to the transformation of diamonds within the earth, right? So there could be something to do with how the air is interacting in your chart such that it's facilitating this ease and flow with this water. And Aries water showed up in the Aries reading too. But this flow of energy, it's like it's transforming what you initially thought was going to require a ton of work. So maybe there's something that's to be said for allowing more comfort, allowing the comfort. Yeah, allowing the comfort. But this is, I also feel like that's you. That's like, it's almost like you're in the background being like, hey, right? Like, I think it's like allowing the idea of comfort to expand within you, the idea of ease to perhaps expand within you, and to release this feeling like you don't have enough time because it doesn't exist in the way that you thought it did. And again, I go back to the Aries. I'm seeing these elemental ones as kind of connected, specifically yours, fire signs. But this, because I saw a clock moving backwards, as though it was writing itself. Like there was some way that time was kind of moving weird in that reading, where I even saw the ropes from a gym where people would work out, or like in one of those like yards, workout yards. And I feel like that's kind of what was happening to time. There's a reading I did a while ago where that was the case too. But it's almost like this ripple of time, and there's like different keys, and it's like you might be holding on to, this almost is striking me as this like collection of memories these are like core memories, and the keys are the core feelings that you wanted to feel. But maybe there's a way that you need to allow time to take root slightly differently, not differently altogether as in like throw it all away, but there's like something about letting emotions be replace time, letting emotions be like, if you had a watch, I mean, I have a watch tan, so if I had it on this hand, it would be like my freckle would be like the timepiece. But like you could see, it's like, imagine it would show your emotions as the guide to tell you where you were in time. And that's kind of what I'm seeing, like an emotional timepiece. But it's not a timepiece. Like, what is time? So it's like, it's hard to explain this the way that I'm experiencing it very clearly. I hope that this is a clearer explanation, but yeah. I'm hearing Chopin again, but this is the Raindrops Prelude. So this is possibly the water and the diamonds on the water. But if you listen to Chopin, Raindrops Prelude slowed down. So if you listen to it slowed down, I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but check it out because it tends to go quite quickly to represent raindrops. The story behind it is quite macabre, so it depends on whether you want to deep dive into that. But the Raindrops Prelude slowed down. It sort of retains this etheric or ethereal beauty to it that I tend to enjoy more than the original composition. So the slowed down version, because of course I have to be different. So, Spirit, what messages do you have for Sagittarius, please? Truth be told. Yeah, there's like this, it's like you're allowing the comfort, like there's an ease in your heart center that's wanted to grow and expand. And I feel like that's that sense of hearth. Aries had no place like home as well. So it's almost like there might be like a ripple through the fire collective, where I'm hearing where you're being called, and I don't know what that means, but I think this is also examining the contents of your heart and making sure that they're clear of expectation. Because I feel like this mask can represent expectation, and truth be told is an excellent energy, but it's an aspect of disconnecting yourself from the truth when there's expectation involved. It's very hard to be clear in your, to say that you're being honest of intention and coming without agenda if you're connected to some sort of this is what I hope to happen and attaching to it. We can all have hopes for what we want to happen, but it's when we attach to it that we kind of put this mask on, because then the outcome becomes more important than the experience. Interesting. I'm hearing window to your soul. Maybe you're getting deep insight, not necessarily just from this reading, but just in general. Like this might be a period of depth of insight, and you're learning a lot about what home means. And it's almost like there's this sense of home within yourself. Like I'm seeing this window open up and reveal this scene in here where it's like your fire is where it needs to be. It's in a place that's contained, but that still manages to warm the house without burning it down. Right? Like that kind of, ooh, that's an image. Oh my gosh, Spirit, can you clear that, please? Thank you. I'm just thinking about it in terms of the phrase, you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm, right? And that's sometimes, I feel like when I've experienced depression in friends who are fire signs, that's what it can be like, right? It can be like that feeling like you have to do that for everybody. And it's sort of that anger turned inward almost. Yeah. It's like a sense of anger turned inward. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Sagittarians for this creative energy reading? I'm hearing now onto the reflections. So I guess that's what Spirit has in store. So sacral chakra, very interesting. Aries had root as the primary energy. But this is where you are now. I feel like you're sitting in this energy. There's something about this energy that's quite loud right now, and not just from like a pleasure and sensuality perspective, but this is also, I feel like this is connected to comfort. This is connected to ease and the energy that we perceive them through and with, and the way that we receive those energies can be experienced as the sensations of sensuality or even sexuality. That's this chakra as well. But it's like, it's that energy where that center, the energy is moving through. And it's sitting in your energy. It's active right now, I should say. Maybe you're redefining this, like that pressure. There could be a pressure to redefine this. Sadness and isolation is what you are embracing. Interesting. But again, oh my gosh, Sag. Do you see this? Like the light entering differently from this ridiculously rudimentary drawing that I did. Right? It's like the line, something is entering differently. Like the light and energy are changing shape as they're arriving. And it's almost like this is like that thickness, like that. It's almost like a very thick auric field. There could be something to do with your biome and the way it's interacting with other people. And it's causing this sort of sadness and isolation where you would otherwise, this is joy entering. And I feel like it's sort of collapsing in on itself. And maybe that has to do with the way that you've been allowing yourself to receive pleasure and joy. And the way that you've been perceiving it. This could be the fifth house energy that I'm picking up on as well. With Leo, so check that out. I haven't done the Leo reading yet, so I don't know where that's going to take us, but we'll see. It could be related. Again, I've been feeling like these are kind of threads of a story. Two of Cups coming together. We're releasing this coming together. Not because you're releasing a person. I think it's like releasing expectations around something. But it could also be, I mean, this could easily represent as well, representing a period of loneliness, representing a period of being on your own. And I feel like that what you're embracing is not the sadness and isolation. I feel like you're embracing where you are because it's allowing you to see it clearly. So it's not like an embracing of the stuck energy. It's embracing the way that it is. And I'm almost seeing this like, so after, so in the movie Twister, which was one of my favorite movies as a kid, I wanted to be a storm chaser I wanted to be a storm chaser when I grew up. In the movie, the end scene, as the gigantic Twister is fading away, it's like it's just, it leaves these clouds just kind of hanging in the air, and like it's some of its debris. But it just, I'm seeing this like clearing of an energy. And that might be this, if you feel this pressure inside, right? Like that's what it can possibly represent. But it's almost like, it's like the topography of your internal world is changing. And it's like there was some kind of mountain or dip in it that shifted the way that this kind of internal conflict was moving, and it's changed the thickness, like that viscosity, right? Like as this joy or emotion reaches your energy centers or your field, the biome around, I feel like you're releasing the need for it to be structured. You're releasing the need for it to be understandable and comprehended. Comprehensible. I'll clarify the coming together further. Like it's not the straightforward explanation, because nothing about these readings has been really straightforward. My lovely Sagittarians. And throat chakra. No, that's not the one. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I feel like the light gets in through the center of your truth. But this is the comprehension piece too, right? That's the comprehension piece that I was just talking about, where it's like, it's not something that you can comprehend. The light gets in at the point of least comprehension. Whoa, I need to write that down, because that might be your title, Sag. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I can't write fast enough. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. I feel like the point of least comprehension. Okay. Yeah. The point of least comprehension. I feel like there's something that's not going to be organized about this, and it might frustrate you. But I feel like the release is releasing the expectations that it will be anything but. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Sagittarians, please, on this sacral chakra? 10 of Cups. Okay. Just all the joy, all the pleasure. But again, we're looking at mirrored energy, right? We're looking at mirrored energy, the reciprocity. But reciprocity, I feel like there's reciprocity on the one hand, but I feel like this is a mirrored energy on the other. This is a mirrored energy on the other, where it's like, I almost see it as like energy centers shining a spotlight on one another and pouring into different energy centers all together. So this is like, it's striking me as like integrated healing, and the integration of emotions as well. Spirit, what other messages do you have for Sagittarius, please? The Star. You are drawing very good cards for the point of, or what the point of least comprehension. You're drawing clarity cards, so this is actually really good. That's what I'm calling your reading, by the way. Not a spoiler alert, but you know. What additional messages do you have for Sagittarius, Spirit? 9 of Cups. 6 of Cups. Balance, balance, balance. Oh, you're coming into balance, Sag, and this feels really good. But I feel like you know this. Ace of Wands and 3 of Wands. You know this. This is like a structured way that your fire is moving. And there's like a new here. There's a new with the Ace of Wands that's like beautiful. The Fool. Yeah. The Fool really wanted to be out here. I think that this energy is, you're starting to see the way it's moving, and you're understanding that you are not the thickness of the aura. You are not the channel by which the energy is moving. You are something much bigger than that. That's part of the picture, but it's like you were focused on the granularity. So you're pulling back and out, and you're seeing something bigger and different. You're seeing something bigger and different. I'm hearing path of least resistance. That's kind of what this energy is striking me as. Like, this is a positive portal. This is like, it could be Lionsgate, I'm also hearing. But it's like there's something that's shifting, that's allowing this insight. And you're taking what was just these ideas and you're constructing a whole world out of them. You're constructing the eye to the insight to an entire world. And maybe that's something you're creating, right? I see this as almost like a cosmos or a portal that's opening up. And that's helping you the Fool is like a leap of faith on the one hand, but it's also new beginning. And it's a kind of fearless new beginning based on the amount of fire. I think you're informing so much of this new beginning for yourself. What additional messages do you have, Spirit, for Sagittarius? Yeah, a new beginning for sure. Aries also had butterflies all over it. Yeah, there's like a lot of new beginnings here. A lot of them. I'm hearing Grand Central Station, just in terms of like ideas and energies coming through. It's almost like I'm seeing someone sitting at a train station, for where I am, it would be Union Station in Toronto. That would be the closest big one, but it would be like, it's like sitting in, for those of you who are, Ontarians or who have been there, it's like there's this hall where, it connects to the walk that goes into what used to be the Sky Dome or across. There's something along those lines there. But it's where the Via Rail trains used to be, at the side that faces Front Street. And these like towering, it's almost like it's like a cathedral on the inside with how high the ceilings are. And in that area, when I would go to Toronto to go to bookstores and just wander, when I was in my 20s, I would go and just sit in the corner in that space and just watch and just sit there for like an hour or so and just watch people, and just, I don't know, and watch like energies interacting before I had the words to describe it. But it's like just watching, and I feel like that's kind of like there's a pause that might be important for you to take. I know Aries got rest. I keep connecting these readings, but I just feel like rest is really important for fire signs right now. Strength, there's the Leo Lion's Gate. I feel like the rest is the key here, because there's something about like you have to have more confidence in yourself than in what you want to happen. You have to have more confidence in yourself than what your expectations are, because everyone loves the Two of Cups. Like that feels so damn good. Like, to be able to share, like to, I don't know, just like it's little like silly cutesy things that you do with a partner that feels so good, like the marshmallowy smushy things, right? Like having a person that you adore and that you love and cherish, and that it's like the shared, how things are shared in that space, and like I think that we can get attached to the outcome of that more than we can believe in ourselves to handle where we are, one, but two, to understand that feeling and knowing what kind of relationship we want is more important than the person. I don't know. There's an element of that though, like releasing expectations is what brings something in. I don't know. I feel like I'm a marshmallow anyway. I've like, people are like, Aquarians don't feel things. I'm like, oh, no. We do. So Two of Cups and Strength. Both? Okay. Seven of Swords. Yeah, I feel like it's like this is where it's like you can kind of, the Magician on the bottom. It's like this is the energy where you kind of feel more protective. Like that's why the release of expectations is so important, because it's like then you feel like you have to like sleep with one eye open. Like that's like the energy you have to keep about it, because it's like you have to protect and defend what you think is yours, when what you need to do is to draw it towards you further to the Lion's Gate portal. I feel like there's something to do with that energy that's going to be, I'm hearing illuminating. Trains coming into town, so shocker. Happens multiple times a day. But I feel like there's like this sense of like you need to protect your own. Like you feel like you need to be like, grr, like this, like I'm hearing a low growl. And that could be like, you could have Leo placements or feel particularly protective. But I think that's what you need to release, because it's screwing with your energy and making it thick. Like it's making it thicker so that it's hard for these things to enter in, at least about specific topics. Not all together, but just specific topics. And the Justice card here, this is Libra. So this is 7th house and Venus. And it has to do with long-term relationships and contracts. So you could be drawing and magnetizing towards you a long-term partner right now. This card also, I think that this is also a little bit of that mirroring energy again, right? Like the energy is changing. Something about your truth in this comprehension with the throat chakra here. I see this as like the Ace of Swords informing that. And it's like there's the Ace of Swords. Justice represents in the minor arcana reflection. Oh, I just thought... so much reflection energy. But the minor arcana reflection of this is the Ace of Swords and the Two of Swords, cause and effect. And I almost feel like there's some kind of, your truth is like the cause, and whether that's a realization for you or something that you share with someone else, it's like it brings together. The effect is the bringing together. This is like a union energy, possibly why I mentioned Union Station as well. Interesting. Huh. That's really interesting to me. I'm having a moment right now. When the channeler realizes that they're a channel, it's breaking the third wall. Is it the third wall or the fourth wall? I don't even know. It's breaking a wall. Just, yeah. Anyway, So that it's like it's this energy of kind of coming together but reflecting, and it's like it is a unity and a union card because you see the tails here around the world. um yeah, there's something about this truth, and it's helping you to understand that that truth is part of a bigger set of tools that you're working with. This is a cheetah, I'm inclined to say, because jaguars, I learned yesterday while reading an almanac at work on my break because I was bored. That's, and again, this infinity. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. So it's just the spots are different. One of them has a spot in the middle, and one of them just has a spot in general. Super cool. I was like, oh, that's how you can tell because they look so similar. I think it's either jaguars, and cheetahs. And that's how they're different. But this is like the infinity symbol came up a lot in the Aries reading too, and I'm seeing it here, a chunk. And it's like this aspect of infinitude. I'm hearing two halves of the whole, but we're all whole and complete. So this, I mean, take that for what you will. I'm not going to fight with spirit. The message wanted to come through. I do feel, though, this is Gemini energy, and I feel like this is a kind of a communicative energy. So I feel like this is you taking what resources you have and making something of this energy where you are. And I think that that's like, this is really ultimately the story of releasing your expectations so that this energy can then flow. If this is about a relationship, it's releasing expectations of people and what you want the relationship to do for you, because that's allowing you to see your own power. I'm hearing you're a goddamn cheetah, which is a line from Untamed by Glennon Doyle. You're a goddamn cheetah. And just remembering your power and remembering what it means to be wild and free. And there's two like big cat energies here, which to me is about freedom, but it's also about strength, right? It's also about strength. And the magician isn't a fiery energy per se, but they like, cats are clever animals. I mean, they're many things, but wow. And on the throat chakra, we have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, it's comprehension. There's some I'm hearing residual confusion. Like you're just cleaning the windshield after, I mean, this is going to sound gross, but when I went to my granny's, I drove there. It was the evening because I went after work, and it was just like I got to her place, and then the next morning I went to drive to get coffee for us, and I was like, oh my gosh, the windshield, like I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like it was covered, and I feel like that's kind of what the case is. Like you're just like, whoa, and you can hear the windshield wipers moving on the windshield because it's so covered. Yuck, I know. But also, you're welcome. Ew. Right? But I feel like that's like your clarity right now. And that throat chakra is a 5 card. And we have the 5 of Wands here. You could be feeling like there's like, this is an aspect of training your mind. But I think this could be an aspect of feeling like there's some competitive energies that are pulling at your energy and making it difficult for you to see clearly. It could be making it slightly difficult. It's just challenging for you to see it clearly. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah. I feel like this is a sense of mastery over fears to an extent, because when we think about what makes it hard for us to understand something, sometimes there's a blockage in energy where we're trying to understand something when we're intended to feel it. We're intended to sit with it as opposed to understand it, because understanding and comprehension are a motion of the energy. It's a motion of energy. So this is... the specificity of this here is sort of mastering your energy. It's like it's mastering that energy flow, I'm hearing. Yeah, Temperance and the Hermit, balance and wisdom. You came out in your power, but you also came out with Virgo. So, oh, you came out with Virgo. Interesting. I mean, you could be coming out. You could be coming out with a Virgo. But this, to me, this is an energy of balancing and harnessing your wisdom and light, right? Because this is you. This is your light, Sag. So it's like it's balancing that and being able to harness that, but also knowing that there's something about you have to let go of the need to comprehend everything. It's like the point of least comprehension is where the light gets in, and I feel like that's where you get in. right? And it's the perfect balance. It's like things coming into a perfect balance. Yeah. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Sagittarians? Beginnings and East. Wow. Okay, Sag. So Aries got South, and you have North. Whoa. And you also got attraction and magnetism. You are drawing, this is like the big magician energy. It's like you're drawing this energy towards you. There's a new beginning. It could have to do with east directions. I not necessarily in terms of indigenous teachings, though if indigenous folks are watching this could be related to that. I am not I'm not inclined to appropriate the medicine wheel in any capacity because I don't know it. It's not part of my history, and I think it's disrespectful for me to jump right in and be like, that's what that is, I know what this means. So I'm unclear of that. So it's just something that came through. I almost get this, like, if this has to do with Lionsgate, I'm almost getting this kind of like astral energy where there's like two sides. Aries had this sort of black hole energy where there was one side of it and then there was the other side of it, and they were reflecting from they were reflecting from where they are on the south, so their past lives, the past that they were experiencing. And I almost get that you're on the other side of it. Like this is like the past you, possibly. There could have been past lives or whatever, but it's almost like you're looking through this portal and creating this sort of signal and design. Like it's almost like the bat signal, or like a signal from home, to say that you're on the right path. So there's something along those lines in your energy. It could be signs and synchronicities that you'll start seeing that start to show that you're drawing these things to you in the perfect way that they're meant to be. Like this is how it's showing up, right? Like this is what you'll see if you look at the energy really closely. And this could have to do with your sun sign or sun placements, because, the aurora borealis are related to solar flares. So the stronger the solar flare, the brighter and more vivid the aurora borealis is. I've never seen them. It's on my little bucket list to see one day. But it's almost like this is like the sun and how strong it is, and there's different flares, right? So it could be these light beings possibly, or I'm hearing light codes. It could be something along those lines that are helping you to understand and see. And it's like you can't see these. It's almost like solar crop circles. Like that's kind of the way I'm seeing this. That's really interesting energy. And it's like it appears in the sky for a moment, and it might be a time when you're compelled to just look up at the stars or the moon. And then it's like it's like a communication. Like there's this compass that you're seeing that you can't really explain. Like it's, again, the point of least comprehension, right? The point of least comprehension. And then it's like it's speaking to something greater. I'm hearing this. There's Saturn here, right? So it's like this this expanded energy. And it might make you feel like you're a small fish in a big pond. Like this could be an awareness that you get of, purpose or path or project or someone, relationship, love. If you are on any kind of twin flame mission, or feel that that's what you are here to do. I know for me, my very vivid clarity, I'm here to be of service to others, right? 3333 on the time. Like I'm here to be of service to others. So I know that about what I'm here to do. But it's like this could be an awareness that you gain about your specific path or some of the details. Like you see a bit of the big picture, but it's just a flash, right? It's just a flash. And then I'm going to pull from the postcards from Spirit deck. Oh, that's interesting. This one was in the... Okay. You are loved. Oh, there we go. You are loved. Dear you, do you feel like you need to do all the work and fix everything for everyone, or you might have no value? Maybe you think you need to control everything, or else nothing will get done. Be healed, be completed, etc. You may think you need to conform to what others expect of you, or choose a course of action to manipulate an outcome, but we don't think that would be a good choice. How about this? Even if it makes you temporarily uncomfortable, do something different. It's very North Node. Do something different. Set that boundary. Delegate responsibility to another. Ask for your needs to be met. And when faced with an impossible situation or sticky, enmeshed relationship, repeat this mantra. I didn't cause it. I can't control it. And it's not my job to cure it. I'm going to say that again because that's freaking excellent. I didn't cause it. I can't control it. And it's not my job to cure it. Then carry on. Feels good, doesn't it? The best part is everything just seems to work beautifully and honestly in the end. Love you so, so much. Yeah, so this could even be like parts of your fully realized, North Node self in this lifetime. Like it could be, like this is you from even a different parallel universe sending messages to remind you to stay on track and on path, right? It could be sending you messages where you may be inclined to slip into South Node if you have like anything that is inclined towards playing small or staying too comfortable, right? Because that can also be this here, comfort and hearth. It's a different kind of comfort. This can also be a sign to pull away from that. I know that I talked about integrating more comfort, but comfort within your North Node is different than comfort within the South Node, right? For example, my South Node is in Libra. And for me, it's very easy for me to slip into things like that deal with a lot of diplomacy, to be diplomatic, to not stick up for myself, to not stand my ground, to operate without boundaries. All of the things about Aries in my North Node, which is the I, me, my. So it's very easy for me to not, speak my mind. It's very easy for me to not go along to get along. An aspect of that, yes. But to let other people do the leading, and that's okay. Like it's part of who I am. It's a great skill to have, but I'm here to activate a different kind of energy for myself. And I've noticed that when I step into that energy, things work smoothly, even though it feels super uncomfortable at the time, deeply uncomfortable. Like and it's hard to recognize that you're on the right path because it feels like it's so uncomfortable that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm constantly fucking this up. Like that's how it can feel inside. It's not that you are doing that. It's not that is the case, but it feels so uncertain. So there's an element of that. And it's like you really have to sit with your anxiety and work with it if you have not been listening to it or befriending it well. Sonia Choquette has a recent video about, helpful tips to deal with anxiety if you're an empath or highly sensitive person. I'm super excited to watch it. I have not yet watched it. I've been waiting until I get a moment where it's just like me time and I can tune out the world and really sink into it. But I've watched a little bit of it and so far, and it looks good. So do check that out. But this is your message, Sag. I almost feel like this is like a fire sign, like just like the fire sign collective. Like, I know that they're long, but watch all of them. Yeah, there's a lot happening here. I feel like it's important that you know that you're on track. There's a lot happening with your energy right now, and there's equally so a lot that can be unlocked at this moment. But I feel like it's not just that you have guides and like guardian angels here. It's almost like you have this, it's like a portal. I keep thinking Lionsgate because that's the next portal, I think, the most recent or like the next recent one. Where it's like your energy is shifting and changing in a way that's accommodating something greater. And it could be tied to a sense of wonder. Like I think about, like what does a kid think the first time that they see fireflies? Like a baby. What is the feeling that they feel inside the first time they see fireflies? Like think about that, right? And then sit and sink in that feeling, and that's the feeling that might be accompanying what this, like how you'll recognize this. But the point of least comprehension is how all the light gets in, my darling Sagittarians. So that was your reading. If this resonated, please give it a like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on the channel if you are not already. But if you are, thank you so much for watching for my subscriber base. I appreciate you so much. So thank you. There are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, so do check that out. But in the meantime, if this is where we part, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very, very well, my darlings. Take care.